Welcome to Loremen, a podcast about local legends and obscure curiosities from days of yore. I'm James Shakeshaft.
And I'm Alistair Beckett-King.
Hey, it's Valentine's again, Alistair. It just was Valentine's by the time you're listening to this.
Happy Valentines. Is this in the past?
Valentine times.
Yeah, good.
First up, we do need to make apologies for the sound qualities that you're about to hear.
This episode was recorded in extremis, under very harsh conditions.
Oh, big time. We do explain those harsh conditions, but just a sort of double apology, really, going into it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop an apology on top of that, so it's treble apology now.
Tropology, nice one. But aside from that, enjoy Valentine's 2023.
2023.
Yeah, Alistair.
Hello, James.
You're still in the well, right?
Yes, as listeners to last week's episode might remember.
You were in a well for a bit of it.
I was briefly in a well. I'm in a hotel room because I'm on a very small book tour because I wrote a book. Not to go on about it, I wrote a book. And now I've built a little fort in the bed. A la Homer Simpson, I've built a bed fort, which I'm sitting inside trying to record sound with you.
Thank you very much, actually, for getting in that bed well.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, actually. It's been a whole faff. I've got that thing that you're supposed to put luggage on, and then I've covered the duvet, creating a sort of igloo.
That sounds like quite a good tip if you just want to have a nice bed fort.
That's true, yes. If you wanted a bed fort, this would be a great way to go about it.
However, Alistair, I didn't get you here to burn through your mobile phone data to chat about bed forts.
You didn't?
No, we could do that later. It's become Valentine's Day.
Has it?
Yeah, and once again, we've got guest Deputy Valentine's Welsh spokesperson, Jenny Collier. Welcome, Jenny.
Yay, thanks for having me back. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hello, Jenny.
Merry Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're on good form, Jenny, because before we started, James said, your mic sounds really bad, so try not to speak during this one. So we're expecting a lot of good content from the two of you.
Okay.
I just said don't speak at length.
You said, get back in your well.
Get in that comfy well.
Get in that toasty igloo.
It's getting hot in the igloo, to be honest.
Maybe text us your hotel and your hotel room in case we need to alert paramedics.
Absolutely, yeah. If I stop responding...
We'll call a first responder. But Jenny...
Yes.
Ignoring Alistair's plight, the ticking time bomb on this podcast, how you doing? How have you been? We haven't spoken since, Edinburgh Times?
Well, yeah.
August, to the layperson?
Well, I've been up to all sorts. I didn't make it to the Cow Palace, unfortunately.
What? That is what everyone has been on. Tenterhooks?
I think it's tenterhooks.
They've been on tent pegs. Which is what I presume tenterhooks are. It's just an elaborate way of saying tent pegs. We've already got a word for it.
So you didn't go to Cow Dorado?
Cow Dorado, no. Even though there was a cat display at Cow Palace when I was there, but I found out too late, and I'm allergic
to cat displays.
To cats.
But Jenny, I've got your back.
Yes.
We need to chat some Welsh romance.
Yes.
In the only way that Welsh legendary romance can be chatted. It's Mabignogi time.
It is time for Mabinogi. It's a romantic one, this one, tell you what.
In a way. Yeah, it's the fourth branch. I get the feeling they're really casting around for ideas now they've got to the third sequel of the Mabinogi story. It's got quite probably the closest comparison would be is it the Friday the 13th ones? Is that Jason?
I'm not really familiar with that franchise.
No, I think that's Halloween.
I think I'm what passes for an expert on such things, and I don't even know. But yeah, basically they've run out of ideas.
Are you telling me this is the Mabinogi, the Crystal Skull?
Yes.
Yes, that's more like it, Alistair. Thank you.
Like the fourth Indiana Jones. Have you heard they're bringing back Fawlty Towers?
Yeah.
By popular demand, both of those words in inverted commas.
Yeah, if popular means John Cleese's Twitter account. Are they de-aging him so that he can walk around like a young-faced old man?
Like The Irishman.
Yeah. The film The Irishman. It sounds like you're just having a pop at a particular person that we don't know. Yeah. this de-aging thing, do they know it doesn't work?
No, I don't think they know.
Why don't they know?
I haven't heard about this de-aging thing. I'm a bit out of the loop. Botox?
Well, no, it's sort of like this deep fake, but they do it with people so they look younger.
Right.
It was called The Irishman, wasn't it? It was that Martin Scorsese film.
Oh, right.
And
Yes.
they did it to Joe Pesci and to Robert De Niro, who were probably 70s when this was filmed. But they made their faces look like they were 30s, and Joe Pesci was really ill at 30.
Was he meant to be ill, or did he just look ill?
Not on purpose, I don't think. I didn't think that was part of the plot. But the consequence of this is you have people... the gait of a 70-year-old man is different to the gait of a 20-year-old man. So they just sort of shuffle around, like they try and do a run, but they just can't. They just can't. It's just a fact of aging. But with a young person's face, it's frightening.
Yeah.
And no one seems to have told them.
For the nerds listening, I have to clarify. They didn't use deepfake technology. They used like CGI heads, which is part of why it looks so weird. In fact, some people have then gone and done deepfake on it. And annoyingly, the deepfake is a great deal more convincing than the CGI in the actual
That's
film.
a lot of effort. Prosthetic heads? Oh, no, CGI heads.
Yeah, it was like Goodfellas on bobblehead mode.
I don't wish to make it all about me, but did I tell you about the casting I had to be in a film that had a funny age problem going on? I got a casting to be in a DC movie, right? Sounds exciting.
Sweet.
Yeah, except the first line of the script said, a camera pans across a hotel room to a bed which has in it a very old woman. She is so frail and old, and she is 55 going on 85. She is so much older than her years because she's so ill and frail.
Oh. And did they tell you that they were going to use deepfake?
No. So I emailed my agent back saying, thinking there must be some mistake. So I just thought I'll mention it. So I said, I guess I'll try to channel my old lady. And he said, I believe in you, Jen. Like there's been no mistake here. And the worst part is, so he must have looked at the casting breakdown and gone, who have we got on our books that's 55 going on 85? Oh, Jenny Collier. And then he showed my spotlight to the casting people and they went, yeah, perfect. So it went through those hoops before it got to me. Anyway, I didn't get it. But I would have liked to have been part of the ageism in Hollywood problem.
Yeah, I hope they didn't go for someone younger than you. That would be awful.
What? I mean, I'm glad also your agent didn't sort of say, just be yourself. That would have been too much. But Jenny,
yes,
Mabignogion 4. What on earth happened to this? Because I've read at this story, and there's a few things that stuck with me, but most of it confused the heck out of me.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? It's they've just gone to town.
It definitely does seem quite CGI heavy.
Yeah. So the first bit about it is, so you know the hero Clay.
Is that how you say it?
You start, and I want to hear you say it. Well,
so it's about a chap whose name is spelt L-L-E-U, and then a new word, L-L-A-W, and then another word, G-Y-F-F-E-S, which I would presume, with my limited knowledge of Welsh, is Chrw Cho GIFs. Is it GIFs? Yeah, I've embarrassed myself there.
Well, shall I tell you my interpretation? Because a lot of the Mabignogion rely on sort of interpretation by the reader or translator.
Thank goodness.
And so what I'm getting is Llay. So his name's Llay. His first name is Llay.
Llay.
And then Llaw Guffers. But then Llaw means hand. And Guffers, I don't know, so I'm going to say Guffs. So I think his name is Llay. Hand Guffs. So that's how I'm going to refer to him.
So what? Claw Guffs.
Clay Clow.
Clay Clow Guffs.
I think it's more like Guffers.
Cool. Clay Clow Guffers.
It's just Clay. So unfortunately for Clay, he was placed under a curse by his mother, Arianrhod, that he may never have a human wife. I mean, a lot of mums and their sons are weird like that, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems a bit much from the mum. That doesn't seem to be setting him up for a good life.
I've had exes where their mum doesn't want them to have a human wife. Their mum wants to be with them. But interestingly, so when I first read this, I thought, oh, it's a case of the mum wanting to go out with Clay. But what it actually is, so I looked a little bit further back into Arianrhod's history. I won't dwell on this too long, but I just wanted to know like what the crack is with her and how come she put a curse on him.
Her own son.
Her own son. She doesn't like him because in the 12th century, Arianrhod's uncle, called Mathvab Maddonwy, would die if he didn't keep his feet in the lap of a virgin when he was not at war.
Oh.
It's not like it's...
He'd die if he does. He'd die if the feet aren't in the lap of the virgin when he's not at war. So he can either be at war or his feet in the lap. Those are his only two, like, default. There's nothing in between.
I mean, the logistics of it are
it's a nightmare.
Like, presumably there needs to be a virgin right there for as soon as peace breaks out. He's going to be on the chaise lounge. Yeah, what happens if they play a game of football on Christmas Day? What's he doing? Well, he's not playing. We know that much.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's a lot of logistical questions with this, and then, sure enough, difficulty does come up when somebody else fancies Math's original footholder, who's called Gawain, and she's pretty. But somebody engineers a war so that Math has to go away and do a war so that they can steal the footholder. So then they go and have it off with Gawain, so she's no longer a valid footholder.
She's not.
Yeah, she's no longer like you could put your feet there, but you die. So now he's got to find a new virgin to hold his feet. So Gwydion, who's like a wizardman, suggests his sister Arianrhod, and so to test her virginity, Math and Gwydion are wizards, like the uncle wizards. And they tell her in order to check whether she's a virgin, they tell her to step over the magician's rod. And on doing this, she immediately just gives birth to a baby and a blob-like entity.
Oh.
And the blob-like entity becomes Slay.
He's the Danny DeVito.
Exactly. That was the reference I was going to use. He's the crap left over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect that you did. It's flowing. We're in a flow state. And
so, yeah, it was she.
But she's so embarrassed that not only is she not a virgin, but she's just done two babies in front of them. One of them isn't even a baby. That then she's like, I'm going to punish this entity.
BLE.
And one of the uncles places Clay in a chest, and before long it becomes a boy who grows at twice the normal rate. When he is 4, he's as big as an 8-year-old. Again, my nieces and nephew are of that ilk.
But they started out as babies.
They were babies, yeah.
Right.
So then Arianrhod is so embarrassed by like the humiliation of being shown to be like this, and then one of them not being a proper baby, that she puts a load of curses on to Clay. And the things that she wants for him are for him to not have a name, not be able to be armed, and to not have a human wife. But then she gets tricked into arming him and tricked into naming him. And so the only one that remains is to not take a human wife. And that brings us to the beginning of the story.
What an amazing preamble. It occurs to me that as suspicious groups go, you've got wizards and you've got uncles. But wizard uncles really take the cake.
definitely.
Yeah, Magic Man.
These guys are up to no good.
Well, they're looking out for Clay. He's like cursed to not marry a human wife. And then they sweep in, and they're a bit like the guys from Queer Eye, where they're like, we're going to sort this out for you, pal.
Ah, okay. I like this take.
They're like, your mum's evil. We want you to be happy. Let's fashion you a wife of flowers.
Wow.
Mm.
And so that's what they do. They conjure up the fairest and most beautiful maiden anyone had ever seen. And they baptised her in the way that they did at the time and named her Blodeuwedd.
Oh, is that how you say that word then?
Oh, I wish I got you to say it first.
I thought it was bloody nude.
The word, when you mentioned this story, Blodeuwedd actually rings fear through me, because I once went to a pantomime of it when I was a child, and it was it was quite scary.
Yeah.
So you know those paintings where it's a face made out of fruit and veg?
Yes.
Do you know those scary paintings? Giuseppe Archimboldo, I think it's just off the top of my head who did it.
Yes.
So the pantomime, that was what the people put me in mind of, and it was quite frightening. And I was a child, and it was a musical, and as you can imagine, like from this story, it's not uber lighthearted. And so we were watching it, and it was all in Welsh, which I'm not utterly fluent in, so there was quite a lot of not knowing what the heck was going on. And then there was a moment where the scary characters came out into the audience with microphones and got you to sing, and they came up to me and held a microphone in my face, and I was like, ain't happening, mate. It's haunted me to this day.
Do you think the actors were thinking, why is this 55 to 85-year-old woman being so reluctant to get into the spirit of the pantomime?
Yeah, surely this is her last day out. But because what is it? Bloody nude.
Blodeuwedd.
As far as I understood, that translates as flower face, or the face of a flower.
Yes, flower face.
It's a bit weird science, isn't it? They make the ultimate woman, but they've sort of made her out of wood and flower and bits of tree. It's a bit an oldie worldy.
I thought the same thing. So Clay marries Blodeuwedd, and they are happy together. They move to a place called Dinoding. Yeah. I don't know how you say it.
Dinoding.
I live somewhere, when I go back to Wales, I go to Dinorwig, but this is a place called Dinoding.
Ah.
Anyway, they live there, and then Clay goes away on business. Clay goes away on business. It's really going to be hard to be looking at a book now and do the Llaw guffs. So Clay's gone away for literally one day, and there's a warrior comes through chasing a stag and kills the stag. Oh, sorry, have I missed a bit? It's quite late in the day, so he's like, Blodeuwedd says, we're going to get scorn piled upon us if we don't let this lad in at this hour, coming past our Cantrev, their home place, Dinoding. So we're going to invite him in. Do you want to say what you think he's called?
Yes. I think his name is Gronwpebr. Gronwpebr.
Yeah,
fair enough. Gronwpebr.
Isn't that what waiters say when they approach you with a big pepper mill in an Italian restaurant? In an Italian restaurant. How much pepper is in that thing? Did Italian waiters get sick of refilling pepper mills?
Is it like an RSI thing? And it's just an elaborate attachment to grind a normal size pepper grinder. If you look closely, the very end is just a normal size pepper grinder, but it's just got a really long top, so they don't hurt their wrists.
So Gronwpebr is fit.
I did read that.
And Blodeuwedd looked at him, and there was no part of her that was not filled with love for him.
Is it like all her flowers kind of bloomed in that pantomime you saw?
Mm.
Oh, I don't remember.
I mean, I'm going to say I don't think they had the technology to do that in Welsh language panto.
No.
And based on Jenny's age, that would have been the 1920s. So, no.
Yeah, so she, every part of her wanted him. There was zero ick. There wasn't anything. Even, the way that everything he did made her fall in love with him. And the book that I read has got everything's quite literal. I don't know if it's a weird translation, but it said, and they did not put off making love to each other any longer than that night. And then a little hyphen, just to be clear. That night, they slept together. And the next day, he asks permission to depart. And she was like, God knows you will not leave me. Which is, they say not to be like that, but there's no right answer, is there? And for 3 mornings, she won't allow him to leave. I'm a bit he's a grown-ass man, and why does he want to leave?
She's a grown-ass flower.
They're having a nice time together, even though he keeps saying he wants to leave. He just doesn't know what he wants, I guess.
Even though he's a man-sized pepper grinder, and she's a woman-sized bunch of flowers. It's a match made in heaven.
They decide there's only one thing to do, because she's saying Lle is going to get back soon. So we're going to have to figure out what to do. And Gronw says, there's only one thing we can do, is find out from him how his death might come about.
We got to murder him. That's the only way. That's the only thing that can happen next, is we have to murder him. He is a blob man, so he's magical. So presumably he's not able to be killed by normal means.
Yeah. We haven't really found out why he can only be killed by these means, but the means by which he can be killed are odd. So when Gronw comes back, she's like, Lle, I need to talk to you. Because she makes out like she's really happily married to him, and they spend a day in conversation, song, and carousal. And then when he tries to talk to her, she won't answer. And he's like, what is the matter? And she said, I was just thinking, I'm really concerned that one day you might die. And if that was going to happen, how would that happen? And so he explains to her, and the way that he may be killed is he can't be killed in the day or the night, nor indoors or outdoors, neither riding nor walking, nor clothed and not naked, nor by any weapon lawfully made. So it's tricky. She's like, I don't even understand. You're going to have to show me. He says he can only be killed at dusk, wrapped in a net, with 1 foot on a bath and 1 on a black goat by a riverbank, by a spear forged for a year using the hours when everyone is at mass. So it's an illegally made spear.
Yeah, when the smith should have been in church, really.
And then Blodeuwedd is so good at pretending that she is worried that he acts out and he's like, right, come down to the river with me, run me a bath.
To be fair, it does need some sort of visual aid. It's a very confusing set of circumstances.
I can't picture a billy goat unless there's a billy goat here, and I don't know what it would be. I don't understand 1 foot in a bath or 1 foot on a billy goat unless both those things are happening simultaneously.
I don't understand how that is neither indoors nor outdoors, though. It's he's got to be in the act of getting out of a bath in order.
But they also put a peaked roof over the bath.
So it's
they build a little structure.
Oh, right.
But what's the bath got to do with it?
So it's by the riverbank.
Yes, because he's neither riding nor walking. He's standing on a goat.
And he's saying to her, this is a situation which is avoid.
This is literally the only way I could die.
Gronw goes away and makes the spear, and then on the day, to the very day on the year later, she's like, right, show me this thing again. And here's a billy goat. And he's like, bring it over here. And so poor Lle is just doing everything up to the very, up to it. And then Gronw's up on a hill with a spear, wangs it over at Lle, and does it kill him? It turns him into an eagle.
Of course.
I tricked you.
Or maybe he was tricking them. Maybe, well, I mean, he didn't enjoy being an eagle.
It turns him into a wounded eagle.
Oh, no.
And so he flies away, but then Gwydion, one of the uncles, tracks him down by singing a poem at him in a tree.
Well, that's how they lure him. I've got a little information on how the magic uncles find out where he is. Because they're like, I don't know where our nephew, he must have turned into an eagle and flown away, but where could he be? Oh, by the way, my pig, whenever I open the gate to my pig pen, this sow runs out to the bottom of a particular tree and starts feasting on rotting meat and vermin. Do you think that's related? And they're like, and basically up the top of the tree is Clay Guffs. And every time he sort of shakes his feathers, rotting meat and vermin falls off him to the ground. So yeah, that's the obvious way that they locate the nephew that's been turned into an eagle by all those things that we talked about earlier.
And then Gwydion lures him down with this poem, and he's like, yeah, it's me. And then he switches him back into his human form with his magic wand. He just turns into the human form, but wretched. So he's not well. But then Gwydion and Math nurse him back to health. They give him a French tuck. They teach him how to make like a nice salad.
Nice.
And then they muster Gwynedd, and they're like, we're going to go and reclaim the lands from Gronw and Blodeuwydd. We're going to turn this around and get our happy ending. So then...
But can I take it up here? So they go back to dinner for Mike or whatever it was called. What was it called? Dinner bell, the house. Dinner or ding.
It's a game show where you have to work out if a box contains a sandwich or a bell.
Yes. They confront Gronw, the pepper guy, the big pepper mill man.
Yeah.
They confront him, and he's like, is anyone else gonna stand in my way, or am I gonna have to take this fight on myself? And everyone else is like, you can fight him. And so they agree. They sort of come to a deal. It's like, I will hit you the same way you hit me. So you need to be at dusk, getting out of a bath, getting onto a billy goat, wrapped in a net, so on and so forth. And then I'm going to throw a spear at you. And then Peppermill Man is like, all right, but can I hold a stone in front of me? And Claw is like, yes, fine. If that's what you want. This set of rules is odd enough already. You can hold a stone.
Yeah.
So they do that, and old Handguff Man.
Yeah.
What is it? He throws the spear at him.
He throws the spear. He's been working on his traps as well. He's been working on his body, and
probably when he was an eagle, that would work, the arm muscles.
Oh yeah. And so he flings the spear. I didn't know that he made him get in the bath and all of that as well. I knew he took him to the same place.
Oh, maybe. Maybe I read into it.
But yours is like a good detailed translation.
Yours seems to mostly be about the night times.
Yeah.
The saucy stuff. You've got Mabignogion. Oh, you put the knob in Mabignogion. You've got Mabignogion nights.
Oh, I chose wisely. So
he hoys the spear at him, and it goes through the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Or was there already a hole in the stone? I couldn't understand that bit.
No, I think the spear made the hole in the stone.
And obviously kills him.
And that was the end of him, yeah. Blodeuwydd has legged it with all her maidens, but while they were running away, they were all running away facing the way they're running from. They're running backwards. And then they fell in water and died, apart from Blodeuwydd.
That's not how you should run.
No. More important to look at where you're going and just trust that the thing's not going to get you. Because what are you going to do if you see it? You can't run faster.
Yeah. And she wouldn't die from the water anyway, because she's a bunch of flowers. Anyway, she doesn't die. And Gwydion says, I'm not going to kill you. I will do worse. What's worse than being killed? Turn it into an owl.
But it turns into an owl because apparently the owls are hated by all of the birds.
Yeah,
They're the most hated.
but birds hate owls. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
I thought it was because biologically because they're scared of them, but it's just they just think they're birds.
This is the first time hearing of it, that owls are unpopular.
This is where it comes from. She was made into an owl, but she had to still be called Flower Face. So it's like the double insult of like, not only are you an owl and everyone thinks you're a tool, but you're called Flower Face as well for the rest of your days.
And apparently owls are still known as that in Welsh now or something?
Well, owl in Welsh is tyllian or guddi hw.
Well, it's not true then. This story is falling apart.
I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure what it meant by that because I don't know. Unless the ones with like the really round face or something, I don't know. That's pure speculation. But it does say Loreboys means owl in the language of today. Maybe that's when Mabignogion wrote it. I don't know when today was, when my shorty Mabignogion was written. But that's why there's hostility between birds and owls. It made me feel like I was an idiot for not knowing how much birds think owls are dickheads.
Are you ready to score us from your well, though, Alistair?
Shall we pop a few scores on this bad boy?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, then, Alistair. From your well, you think you can judge us?
Yes.
From your hot well.
I'll do my best, although, bear in mind, you did ask me not to speak during this episode.
That's a good point. Right then, first category, Jenny, naming. Go on, say naming to him. Naming, please. Very nice, very nice.
Thank you. Very, very well done there.
She's 85, you know.
Normally, when all the Welsh names come up, I sort of tune out because I can't make sense of them because I'm an arrogant Englishman. But I have to say, the little hand guff noises have won my heart.
Yes!
We really put a human face on these Welsh names.
So I'm happy to offer a 4, one for every Mabinogi so far. For names.
Second category, supernatural, please.
A lady made of flowers by a mysterious uncle.
Yeah.
Impossible. The weird math play with the ghosts. I don't know if that's supernatural, but it's not natural.
But it turned into an eagle.
Transforming into an eagle, also clearly supernatural, yes. Maybe it's just the heat in this well, but...
Magic wanded for him from an eagle back into a human.
Yep.
That was supernatural.
The power poems.
And then...
Yeah, double transformation. I think it's...
And then Loreboys gets turned into an owl.
And that's why we have owls.
That's why we have owls.
I think it's 5 out of 5 for supernatural.
Yes!
Come on, you're on a roll, Jenny.
Get in!
I have a category, the category of caveats. Because, there's a lot of caveats in this story. Like, you can only be alive unless you're at war or have your feet on a virgin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a human wife.
If I didn't want someone to have a wife, I would say you can't have a wife.
Yeah.
I've seen some Louis Theroux documentaries. I think I could find a way around this. The whole death thing.
Yeah.
That can't be killed indoors.
Yeah.
Or outdoors, can't be killed during day or night, not riding nor walking, not clothed nor naked, or by any weapon lawfully made. That is some fine print.
Yes.
And I would give you 5 out of 5, James, but if you refer to page 73 in your Loremen manual...
Yeah, he's got me. He'd love to. He'd love to. His hands are tied. His hands are tied, Jenny.
So 3 out of 5.
Whoa!
Good Lord.
Yeah, all right. You got to pull it back, Jenny, with the final category.
The last category is how much everyone hates owls. Birds hate owls. Everyone knows that everyone hates owls.
Yeah.
Birds hate owls. We hate owls. We hate birds. And some of the hatred of birds passes on to owls because they are a subset of the set birds. It's probably a high score, I suppose.
Yes, come on.
Like a 4? How does a 4 sound to you?
I'm pretty happy with a 4. Oh, you're not happy with a 4?
I'm doing that weird sort of owl dance, when they when you put it to music and they look like they're from Manchester.
I do know that dance, hopping from foot to foot furiously.
Yeah.
Well, I'm swooping in soundlessly like an owl and snatching a four.
I'm shrugging off rotting meat and vermin at the feeling of that, but it's better than a 3.
Great. James is now coughing up the furry bones of a 4. Leaving a little pellet.
Thank you very much, Jenny. That was once again on that lovely picture. Let's end our Valentine's special.
Thank you very much, octogenarian comedian Jenny Collier.
Thanks for having me, and happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that Mabignogion didn't get any more grounded in reality, did it?
No, it just gets worse and worse.
It's just sort of spun off. They've seen what worked from the earlier ones, which was disembodied talking heads, and then they just... I feel there's not even any justification within the story for some of these choices.
It's just riffing by this point.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. There are some extras for this available to Patreon subscribers.
Would that be patreon.com/Loremen pod?
If you get in quick, there's still tickets to see us live at the Leicester Comedy Festival on the 25th of February 2023.
2023. You strongly implied with your tone that we've sold some of them, is that right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, this is news to me. It's like selling like hot Welsh cakes. I was trying to think of something that was themed to the episode. A Welsh cake is a thing, right?
Welsh cakes are a thing. I don't know if they're meant to be hot or cooled.
Buy them hot, let them cool, eat them in your own time.
Yeah. If you buy them hot, then you've got the option.
If you buy them hot, you've got the option.
Oh, somebody's at the door. Oh, someone's passed a letter underneath my door. It's not another ransom note.
How intriguing.
Oh, it's a lovely picture of me. It's from my kids.
Oh, it's from your kids. Of course it's from your kids.
Of course it's from the kids.